joined today by somebody who doesn't do a lot of interviews, which makes it even better. Ellen Calipari. I love the jersey. Well done. I appreciate you joining us.
It's my best outfit. Thank you.
I notice you wear that a lot. Like, my mom is like this, sort of always being proud of everything you do. It's got to make you proud to see Brad in the UK jersey, because that might not be something you always thought was going to happen, right?
No. And, I have become that mom. So it was a hard decision. It was a long decision. It was one that he had to make on his own. I do know, just from talking to other people, not him, because he didn't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. He did do his homework. I talked to EJ when he was on the team, and he had called EJ and said, what's it like to be a walk-on on the team? I know he talked to Kenny Payne, and Kenny said because Kenny told us, and he said he told Brad that he should probably talk to us, and I said, it's probably better if he talks to you.
Yeah, I mean, over the years they've had coaches' sons, and it's been at times a rocky time for some of them. For Saul Smith, for instance, Sean Sutton before that. Did you think at all about that, if there would be any pressure on him because of that, being the son, even more so than just being a walk-on? Sure,
you do think of that because you have heard those stories, and you don't want people to think you're coming just because your dad's the coach. And that was not the reason he came, and that was the reason, he put so much thought into it. And I think, his sisters weren't sure that it was going to be a good idea just because of that. But, like I said, he did his homework. He knew what he was getting into. And I think it just kind of made us prouder of him that he made that decision. And
but the fans have embraced him. I mean, every time he comes in, he gets that love. Yeah, as a mom, you gotta like that.
Yes, very happy about that.
Now, we've talked a lot about Brad, and we obviously talk a lot about John. But I actually wanted to talk to you because you are not a public figure, and I've always gotten the sense, you and I have always gotten along, and I've always gotten the sense that the public limelight is not something you love, like say your husband does. Am I right about that?
No. You can tell he loves it.
But is it not? It's something you don't enjoy.
And you know what? It was not. It's not my choice. It's not the choice of my kids, and I think that's why we're very guarded. I've tried to protect them from, because it is something you have to protect yourself from. Kind of, if it's not your choice, you just want to live your life as a normal person, and sometimes that can be difficult to do.
I would think that would be especially difficult here. I mean, it's not just that you're a public figure, you're a big fish in a relatively small pond, unlike, say, Massachusetts or Memphis. Am I right about that?
Yes, very, very right about that.
Have you gotten used to that, like going to the grocery store and people saying, oh, there's Ellen Calipari? Is that something that you ever really get used to?
I don't know. I think you do get used to it. Of course, because of Brad being here and me being more comfortable with that, more people recognize who I am, where I could just kind of go under the radar more.
Oh, really? Were you able to go under the radar for a while?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no one knew who I was.
But that's actually impressive that you were able to do that. And that actually I could see being a lot easier, being able to still be John's wife, but not known everywhere.
It's hard to do. I mean, and that's why I do the thing with my kids, and you kind of just keep your head down and just, kind of plow through things. And, we've had, as, the kids and I sometimes are separate from what he does. He's, his term is no crying on the yacht. I'm not so sure we've been on the same yacht that he's on.
That's interesting.
Because our yacht has been in some rough waters, and our kids have had a hard time. Megan tried to come here. It was very overwhelming for her.
When she decided to do that, I wondered if that would work. But I've noticed with Megan and Aaron, they both are prominent in social media. And I think you haven't done anything like that. Do you ever say to them, what are you all doing, or they just live their own lives?
Yeah, they do their own thing. And
Well, I want to talk privacy for a second. You famously, when you all got here, got one of the most public houses you could get. I mean, right there on a main thoroughfare in Lexington. What was that decision like to sort of choose to have it's not the White House, but it's a house that everybody can get right up there next to?
And it's funny you use the word choose, because I did not choose that. He is the house hunter.
Yeah.
And he has been everywhere we've lived. And I think that the choice in that was kind of to be close to campus.
Okay.
Not necessarily to be on such a main street.
Mm-hmm.
People would have sought out where we were anyway.
Probably true. And there's a little bit of being in that public almost helps than if you were like on a driveway that everybody could get to. But that's very public.
It is very public, and you know, it's uncomfortable going and getting the mail. It's
Really?
uncomfortable taking the trash down. Yeah, because it's somebody honks, somebody yells, you know, which is nice. It's not in a bad way. It's just, you know, sometimes I'll wait till it's dark.
Really?
I do.
Now I've always found you fascinating because you are, in many ways, from a personality standpoint, just from afar, seem to be almost the exact opposite of John. I mean, he seems to love the limelight. He talks to everyone. You're very much to yourself. Is that why you think it works with him in some ways, a yin and a yang there?
I think so. I mean, I don't think we could be more opposite, probably. And I think that's, you know, I don't think he could function with somebody else like him.
Yeah,
He's crazy. Yeah.
I don't think he could either.
I was told when we were at Kansas and we were dating the secretary in the basketball office, they looked out for me, and I just remember her saying he's high strung. And that was probably an understatement.
I see Eric Lindsay over there smiling.
Yeah.
I think he knows. That's just part of my conversation with Ellen Calipari. If you tune in tomorrow night for part 2, she'll talk about whether or not she thinks John will retire here at Kentucky. Now, coming up, 30 women, 1 me. Will I find love? Lee Cruz helped me, and we'll show you the first edition of the Hey Kentucky Bachelor next here on Hey Kentucky.